Get started. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all. Prefer to see everyone in person, and hopefully this will be our last Zoom, and things can continue to improve. I'd like to welcome everyone, and especially Mayor Jared Nicholson, who's just out of his first month in office and has hit the ground running, assembling his team, taking on a lot of initiatives. I know he's been working hard getting the Pickering School Committee meetings together, and hopefully we'll see some progress there finally. And thank you for being here, Mayor Nicholson. I know it's been a pretty busy schedule for you. So we can see who everybody is on the call, so I don't think there's any need to kind of go around the room and introduce ourselves. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to you, Mayor Nicholson, and let us know what's going on. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Councilor Starboard. Really appreciate the introduction, and we've been thrilled to hit the ground running, particularly working with yourself and the rest of your colleagues on the council. We're very excited about that relationship, and thank you to the chamber for this invitation, Colin and Christine, and of course to the team here. We're really excited to be here. We're really excited to have this opportunity to give this update, and want to leave plenty of time for questions as well. And feel free to jump in as well. I think I know just about everyone here, so it's great to see a lot of familiar faces. So I think the first thing we wanted to do is to introduce our team, just so people could have a sense of who folks are in our office, and we're thinking about reaching out who might be a good fit. Of course, you can always reach out to me, but I think sometimes it's helpful to know who the team is, because we really do want to have every opportunity to connect with the business community, and I think this committee in particular is a great chance to foster that. So we have a graphic. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Colin. So this is our team. John Tebow is my chief of staff. He is on the call now, and John, I think, is a great first point of contact really for anything. He, I think a lot of you probably know him. He was most recently chief of staff for Senator Creighton and joined our team. John Fauna is our outreach director. He's doing a lot of the outreach work around the ARPA funds, and so I think for folks that are particularly interested in that process, he's a great person to contact on that. Other kind of special projects and outward facing initiatives. John Fauna, he's a Army veteran. Worked on my campaign just previously. Before that was in the Army for 4 years. Valerie is our communications manager, and so she does our social media. And if you have questions about what the social media things, she's definitely a great point of contact. Next, Faustina Cuevas is our diversity, equity, and inclusion officer. That she was in that role previously for the last 9 months, and is doing really awesome work in promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the city of Lynn, and so is a great point of contact for those initiatives. Megan Hamill is a senior advisor. She was most recently Mayor McGee's chief of staff. She's only with us for another couple of weeks. She generously agreed to stay on for a couple months to help us with the transition. It's been huge help. Daniel Smith is our policy director. He's someone that some of you might have come into contact already, representing our office and some of the policy initiatives that the chamber has been working on. And so I think folks will have an opportunity to meet him if you haven't already. I could definitely see him, being a good fit to come to other government affairs meetings in the future, things like that, for particular initiatives that are going on. Sarita Ago is our constituent services coordinator, and so she's a great person for constituent issues to reach out as a first point of contact. She was in this role previously for Mayor McGee, and so has really a great experience. And then Wendy Pena is our administrative director, and so anything scheduling or events, she's a great person to start with, anything on the calendar. Thank you, Colin. So that's the team. Of course, if you reach out to any one of us, we will figure out who the best person to contact is. But I think those are some good places to start. So the next thing we want to do is talk a little bit about our agenda, vision for the city, things that we hope to be working on that we think would be of particular interest to this group. And I don't want to drone on for too long about plans and ideas, because I do appreciate the feedback and also everyone's time. But I'll try to hit a few of the initiatives that I think I've talked about with folks in this group. I mean, I guess the big one on everyone's mind is COVID-19, and we are very encouraged by the numbers we're seeing, and so I think stay tuned for updates on that on terms of next steps. We're in close touch with our public health team, the public health director, and also the folks at Lynn Community Health Center and North Shore Medical Center, and so I think it's one of the things we're gonna have to think about going forward is what this is going to mean as the situation continues to evolve. I mean, in other words, there probably will be future surges, particularly as we head into next fall. So we're all going to be kind of figuring this out together, how we make that transition from pandemic to endemic. And as always, it's at this level, at the local level, where a lot of those decisions actually get made and implemented. And so we're going to be working hard to make the right ones for this community that keeps everyone safe and also allows us to move forward and address some of the costs that this has all had for all of us. I think I mentioned briefly the ARPA work that's happening. So we have this tremendous opportunity, $75 million in ARPA funding. A significant amount of that has started to get to work and updating the city's public buildings, the HVAC systems. And we also announced with the support of the council this couple weeks ago, a grant program for small businesses to respond to small businesses that have been negatively impacted by the Omicron variant. And so that's in process, that's available. For the rest of the money, the vast majority of it, we are going through an input process now. Any day we will be launching a survey for folks to fill out, and also starting to schedule community meetings where we can get into more specifics about what the ARPA funds can be used for, and also get feedback from folks on where they'd like to see it used. And we're looking to stage this so that the beginning stages of the input is more focused on, what buckets would people most like to see investment in, and so then we can have a follow-up stage of input where we can get into the more specifics of policy proposals, as a way to make this more manageable for everyone and more accessible and for people sharing ideas. So our team is going to be working really hard with the Lynn City Council to get that input, and we have hired consultants to help us do that. So please look out for that. Another initiative that I want to highlight is the city's comprehensive planning process, Vision Lynn. There's going to be lots of opportunities to weigh in on where folks see this community going through that process, and I definitely highly suggest that people participate in those conversations when possible, because I think it's really important for us to get on the same page as a community on as to where we want to go, and to leverage the expertise that we have in the city's planning department to help guide and facilitate those conversations. Another one, I mean, so I guess the short answer here is that we're trying to do a lot. We really do feel like we have an ambitious agenda. And so I'm doing my best to highlight proposals that I think will be particular interest to this group. But if I leave something out, it's not because it's not important to us. On the economic development front, I think we took a really positive step forward last night with the city council to make an effort to get the city on the same page as to what the development process should be looking like, to avoid scenarios where one part of the city has a project before it and misses the opportunity to get input from another part of the city, because I think we have some folks that are involved that could be involved that represent the city that bring different perspectives and different skills, and we make our best decisions when we get to use all those perspectives and skills. And so this is something that I've been working on with Council President Walsh and Vice President Barton, that we have been working on. They've been working on with their colleagues, including Councilor Starbird and the rest of the council, and then from the different departments, relevant departments from the city. And we actually took a step forward last night to adopt a resolution saying that we really want to get everybody on the same page about projects that are coming before the city. Another exciting initiative I think we have on the economic development front is trying to get out there and promote the city as a potential place for life sciences, for biotechnology. We met with Mass Bio a couple weeks ago, a statewide industry organization for the life sciences industry. And they had some really helpful thoughts that we're working on with the planning department. We'll be bringing everyone in the loop as to some steps that we can take to try to promote the city essentially as a potential hub of life sciences activity. And then we're also working with a group out of Northeastern that pulled that is competing and has won an initial federal grant to promote life sciences in cities outside Boston in New England. And so I'm really excited about that collaboration that we'll have more to announce on soon. But that's a goal that we have, is to be working on life sciences. Another one is around workforce development, and this is one I know that the chamber has done a lot of great work on, and who we want to collaborate on, who we want to collaborate with. But we submitted a proposal to the MAPC, the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, to advise on a workforce development strategy, trying to bring together the different stakeholders who are involved in this, so that we can be creating more opportunities for our residents to acquire the skills that are in demand in the marketplace. Another one that we have collaborated on with the chamber, and I think
it's getting hot in here. That's the one.
Well, hang on.
another one that I know the chamber is interested in is that we want to support, and I think we're playing probably more of a supporting role, given how the project unfolds. Is the goal of having a shared commercial kitchen in the city of Lynn as a place to incubate potential food businesses. And I know that the chamber is working on that, Entrepreneurship for All, and others as well. And so, there's really a lot of other projects that I think we have in the pipeline that I'd love to talk about, but I do want to leave time open for discussion. So I'll just say that, one of our overarching goals for all this as an administration is to bring growth to the city, to create opportunities for city, and to do it in a way that's inclusive, that benefits the whole city. And I truly believe that working with small businesses and supporting local commerce is a essential way to be attracting growth that's inclusive, to give the folks that are here building businesses, have a stake in our community and shared future together, that path to prosperity. It's work that I've been doing for years that with how I got to know a lot of you folks working in legal aid for small businesses, and then as a law professor at Northeastern. And it's a approach that we've been really excited to bring to City Hall.
Thank you, Mayor Nicholson. That's quite a lot. And I know you've also a little baptism by fire with a couple of snowstorms to kick off your time in office. And I know that was a challenge as well. Does anyone have any questions for the mayor?
From a logistics standpoint, if you
I don't
want
have
to do the raise hand button, I can
Exactly.
call on you, or you can just shout right out. Either one works for me.
Andrea?
Yes, I have a question. I am on the board of North Shore Community College. And as you talked about workforce development and economic development and life sciences, have you considered partnerships with North Shore Community College? Because we've got a lot of great programs at the college that can support the things that you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. I'm on both those initiatives. We reached out to North Shore Community College and are expecting to be able to partner with them. I think I've seen that partnership up close as a member of the school committee, and I think particularly with the early college program that we have, where Lynn Public School students can earn college credits at no cost to them while they're Lynn Public Schools. Is a really powerful example of the importance of that collaboration with North Shore Community College, and certainly with the life sciences and the workforce development. I think those are absolutely areas that we should be collaborating, and we are in touch with folks there.
Anyone else? Christine? And you're muted.
Working on it. Jared, I don't know if you are aware, but Columbia Insurance has been a member of Mass Bio since 2006. We are one of their vendors for their membership. So we have continuously, since 2006, promoted Lynn and tried to get life science and biotech to come to Lynn. We've talked about back in the day when the clock tower was pretty empty. We tried to get people to come, and I know we have space for that. So we're a big cheerleader for you in that department. I just wanted to know if you could speak a little bit about if some of that money is going to the schools, bringing more people into Lynn. I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and we are busting at the seams. And I feel like we're losing important teachers and staff every day because of the conditions of the schools and things like that. So that's one thing I wanted to hear about.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and I think I was aware of that. I think either you or John had mentioned that, and I think that's terrific. And if folks have feedback about how we can help make that pitch, I mean, I think the time is right. That life sciences industry is exploding. They've already filled up Kendall Square and the Seaport, and they're going to Watertown, Waltham. With Mass Bio said they're looking at Tewksbury. Like, why would you go all the way to Tewksbury if you are here 20 minutes from the airport? And
they're going to Woburn, Danvers, so why not us?
Exactly. And we have some work to do to make that pitch and to prepare the city. But both from we also have the space too that in the industrial legacy folks that want to be involved in manufacturing. And so both from the manufacturing and the R&D side of things, I think there's real opportunities there. So we will certainly be keeping people posted about how you can help us make the pitch. And if you have ideas about, how we can work together to make the pitch, then we're certainly interested and excited about that. For the schools, I totally agree that this is one of the top issues facing the city is the overcrowding of the schools. And as Councilor Starbird mentioned, we're off to the races in building a new Pickering, which I'm really excited about, and I think is long overdue and one that we have to get right. But it's also not enough to address the whole issue. We have other schools that are outdated and really not in acceptable physical condition, and we also have an overcrowding issue, which is which is related but different than the conditions of the schools, because even if you have some schools that are in good shape physically, there's not enough classes to manage class sizes. So I think that we want to make the most of the Pickering opportunity and are going to do that, but we also need to be thinking creatively about other ways to address the overcrowding, and also thinking about a longer term strategy about how because we ultimately need to build our way out of this, and under the current system, that's really hard to do. So I've been very supportive of efforts from the state delegation to reform the school construction formula, the state school construction formula. And this is something we really want to push on, and are going to sort of be developing a case for, because, Lynn has benefited enormously from the most recent education reform with the Student Opportunity Act. And we have much needed and overdue funds for our budget every year that's going to be increasing over time as a result of the advocacy that was on the Student Opportunity Act, to point out the way that the budget formula was failing communities like Lynn. I think we need a follow-up on that, the equivalent of that level of reform for the state's capital spending in education. The Student Opportunity Act is about the budget and the operating spending, and we need to do a similar effort around the capital spending. It's going to be harder because the number of communities that is in Lynn's position is in the way that we're treated unfairly, in the way that schools are built, is smaller than the number of communities that are affected by the operating budget, because Lynn has both old and outdated schools and a very large increase in student population. There's just not a lot of communities in that same position. There's other communities that have old schools, but that the number of students aren't increasing. There's a few, but we're going to have to be creative to address it, and it's just a huge priority. So thank you for the question.
I think Judy
Judy,
had her hand
yeah.
up right when Christine did, and then Jim. Judy?
Oh, thank you, Rick. I am a member of two organizations that I thought would benefit Lynn, but I haven't seen many people collaborate with them. One is GMGI, is an organization that actually trains research lab technicians, and primarily they are doing research on everything that's swimming or floating through the ocean. And for example, the lobster, which doesn't get cancer and can live a long time, relating it to mankind or to humans as a research possibility. GMGI, I've watched the training of students over a number of years, and I like what I see. And it looks like they could be a good collaborative partner. Secondly, the North Shore Technology Council. I've been a member of that also for a number of years, and I like the companies that are part of its technology base. And I thought both of these would make really good partners in the partnerships and collaboration.
Thank you so much. Those definitely sound like great organizations, and we'd be happy to connect with them. If you have particular folks there, please feel free to send an introduction. I think John from my office can drop his email in the chat. But I appreciate it. And that's true for everyone. Like we've been making a real effort to connect with folks that we think can help us move forward.
Great. Jim Keeley, and then Chris Bibby.
Jared, congratulations first. Now I have to address you as Mr. Mayor moving forward, but I've got two concerns: traffic and trash. Traffic down here on Boston Street is just it's like a highway out here. But more importantly is the trash. With some of these funds, will any of the funds be used to help in the cleanup of trash in the streets? All the hard work that Jim and his team does kind of gets diminished if new people are coming in and they're seeing the streets are dirty and not maintained. What's the plan for overall trash?
Yeah, no, those are both great questions. I think, you know, on traffic, you know, I think one of the hopefully one of the benefits of the approach we want to take to development that we were working on last night is that, you know, I'd like to see the city continue to grow. But that is gonna, for that to work in a way that benefits the city, there has to be a lot of planning about what the impacts of the growth is on the neighborhood. And that needs to be thoughtful and it's possible, but it takes some work and collaboration. And so that's one of the reasons I'm excited for that approach that we're taking to the development is to make sure we get everyone to get input from the different perspectives, and traffic and planning is one of those. There's also a lot of work that we're doing with roadway improvements that I think when over time should help with traffic because you're fixing lanes and aligning signals and things like that. There's some of that work you've probably seen started under the current administration, or the previous administration, with Washington Street, and that is going to continue. So Linfield Street, Blossom Street, Essex Street, Western Ave. We have some really great projects lined up for roadway improvements, and over time, I think it's going to have a very positive impact. And then there's also public transit, and I think if we're getting more folks to utilize public transit as an attractive option to get where they need to go, that's helpful for the traffic on the roadways. And you know, there's a lot that we're doing there to improve bus service, to support the electrification of the commuter rail. You know, the goal of the ferry, the long-term hope for the goal for the Blue Line. But those are, you know, we're making some real progress, I think, particularly on the bus and electrification of the commuter rail. And I think the hope there is that also alleviates some of the cars on the road. For the second question on trash, I mean, I totally agree. This is a huge issue facing the city. And we actually just had a meeting on it yesterday. Councilor Brian Field and Councilor Diana Chakutis co-chair a committee on litter, specifically on litter. And they are, I know, eager to continue the push on this to clean the city up. And we have, you know, some ongoing initiatives around sort of prevention and education that were on pause during the pandemic, but like getting into the schools and educating kids, particularly young kids, about the importance of keeping the community clean and sort of enlisting them in this effort. And there is also, you know, a lot of ideas that we're kicking around about how to address this, but and you know, taking examples from other communities, things that work, but you know, it's a top priority. Like you said, it's an economic development issue and in the sort of the image that it projects, and it's a quality of life issue. And for all those reasons, I think, you know, I think you asked about the ARPA funding and certainly, you know, you know, that will be an area that we look at and one that I would encourage folks, if they have particular ideas, to submit them as part of the ARPA outreach process.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the barrels had to be removed during COVID, especially along the beach. I would assume that they're all going to start coming back as the weather gets nicer.
Yeah, so some of the beach is, I think, with DCR, but you know, I mean, what I can say is that the city is working on this. The city has gotten a couple new pieces of equipment to specifically address litter in the downtown, made some hires to specifically address litter. So this is a continued area of focus for us. It's requires a cross-sector collaboration if we're really going to do this, right? Like we need businesses, local businesses to be a part of the solution. We need residents to be a part of the solution. So we want to continue to demonstrate progress from the city. And we want to invite collaboration with folks like yourself on this call, the business community, to get us all bought into this and working to address this, because it's gotta be improved.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Chris, Bibby?
Morning, Mayor. I wanted to remind you about with the ARPA money that you mentioned a minute ago, that the Grand Army of the Republic Civil War Museum, which is the #1 location in all of New England and one of the best in the country, looks like it's falling down. You drive by it, it's got scaffolding holding the front of the building up, is to see if somewhere there's some money set aside to be able to get that building up and running again. It's significant money, I understand, but it's a tremendous resource.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in there a number of times, and it's certainly a history treasure. And it certainly needs a lot of work. So I totally hear that. And I think it's one of those things where we gotta have it on the list for ARPA funding and see where that falls, and then continue to try to bring in resources, because there's a pretty significant backlog of capital maintenance there in that building.
I agree, Chris, that's quite a
Well, they have,
museum down there, and what's in there, if you haven't been down there, you got to see it, because it's just amazing, the collections that are in there, and that's definitely a building that needs preserving. Any other questions for the mayor? Okay, well, thank you very much, Mayor, and you're welcome to stay on. We also have Jim Cowdell from EDIC who joined us. And Jim, would you like to add anything? The mayor did touch on the ARPA funding for businesses that's being managed through EDIC. And if you'd like to give a little update on that.
Sure. Well, first of all, good morning to everybody. I will say this, I think I know everybody on this call, and I've worked very closely with them. The mayor's only been in office 5 or 6 weeks, and I can just tell you that the level of cooperation between the mayor and the city council in all of my years, which is over 30 years, I have never seen it. And we can accomplish great things when everybody's working together. So I just wanted to really give a shout out to the mayor and to the city council for working together. So the mayor requested $3 million be transferred for business grants. City council unanimously voted for that. Last Thursday, like noontime, we received the check. We went live on the EDIC website with applications. So we started like, say, 2 o'clock last Thursday. So it's been less than a week, and I just got an update. As of right now, we've received 224 applications. So that's in less than a week. So that's really good. I want to thank Colin, who's really been helpful in getting the word out to the chamber memberships. If you are a business with less than 25 employees, 25 or less, go to the website, look at the eligibility, and apply. The money is there. This latest wave, or the latest variant of COVID, nobody was expecting it, and the businesses are trying to recover. And this is our way of saying, here, we're here for you. We want to help you. So get the word out. There's money there. The applications are live. Go to the EDIC website. I believe it's also on the City of Lynn website. And let's get the word out to everybody. All right. We want to help you. So Colin, thank you for all your help pushing it with all of the members. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Jim. Another thing that the mayor touched on, Jim, was the shared kind of co-op kitchen space. The chamber's been talking about, the mayor touched on it. It's something that we discussed at EDIC to hopefully bring forth as like an incubator site. We used to have the blood building where it is now, and ARPA funding does allow for the build out of incubator and entrepreneurship space. So hopefully this is something that we can work on and collaborate with the college, with Lynn Tech, and the schools to get this going, give people an opportunity to get into businesses for themselves, especially the the kitchen space, you know, in Lynn, with the diverse population that we have, you can, you know, get foods here that you can't get anywhere. And if folks can capitalize on that and begin their own businesses with them, you know, we'll all be winners from that. So, you know, one of the things that Jim had mentioned yesterday is with real estate market, the way that it is, trying to find an actual site. So, you know, folks in the business community, you're out there every day talking to different people. If a site pops up or you hear something, you know, please let us know, reach out to Jim, you know, reach out to me, but it would be great to see something like that come to fruition. So any other questions for Jim? No, and I see the Deputy Chief Vale, you still there? There's a lot of
Yes,
people.
I'm still here. How you doing, Rick?
Is there any updates you'd like to provide from the Lynn Police Department?
Nothing new, no updates for the chamber at this time.
Okay, great. We'll have you at some point. You know, one thing. Pardon me?
So tomorrow I'm gonna raise the rate to 3 1/8.
Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
Let me just make sure I don't think I'm on.
Mark, okay, there we go.
There he is.
Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, one thing I did want to mention to chamber members, particularly those who bring their vehicles home, whether it's trucks or whatever, as everybody knows, you can't park a commercial vehicle on the street overnight or you risk getting ticketed for that. But there is an ordinance in the city that does allow, strangely enough, employees of companies to drive trucks home, particularly those under 14,000 GVW, which is like an F-350 on down, a 3/4 ton truck or van on down. And but it does not allow for an owner of a business who owns that truck to park, and I see Jim shaking his head, to park that truck on their property. So a new ordinance is being drafted to kind of clean that up, so that somebody like Jim could drive his pickup truck home and park it in his driveway at night, as well as his employees can do the same. So that's going to be set down for a public hearing at our next meeting, I think on the 22nd. And that public hearing will be in our first meeting in March. So if anybody from the chamber, if the chamber wants to issue an official position on that themselves to help support that change, it would be welcome.
Rick, if you could send me the whatever the actual proposal is and the proposed change, I can bring it to the board.
Okay, I will. And Colin, would you like to give an update on what's going on in the annual meeting and
Yeah.
our new chair and our old chair?
So we have a couple of, as Rick mentioned, we're going to be moving towards in-person meetings going forward. We're always going to have a Zoom component, but getting back together with a cup of coffee in our hand and sitting around a table is going to be getting back to that as the normal. We have City Council President Jay Walsh is going to be at our next Government Affairs meeting. And then in April, we have Mass Inc. They're a major research organization who's going to come up, and their senior research director is actually going to be presenting some of the Mass Inc. Priorities and what their research directions are. That's at our April meeting at the EDIC, the EDIC is co-sponsoring that with the chamber. That's going to be probably a breakfast event right in beginning of April. On April, let me get the date right. I want to say the 15th is our annual. It's the Thursday, April 14th. Thursday, April 14th is our annual meeting and chamber awards. We haven't had one of these in a couple of years, and we're very excited to get people back together. This is a big dinner event which we ask our membership to vote on our new chamber leadership team. We announce our new board of directors, and that's going to be a wonderful event. And then we have a couple of great springtime events, a couple of networking things coming up as well. I do want to take this 1 second to, while you're all here, just recognize Christine Pierce up in my left-hand corner. She is our newly recognized board chair for the Chamber of Commerce. So we're going to be voting her in officially come April, but we're very excited to have her leadership on the team. Christine, I know I'm throwing you on the spot. Is there anything you want to say or share?
I would just tell Mayor Nicholson that we really look forward to working with you. Want to be a great partnership with you as a lifelong resident and now a grandmother of 2 kids in the Pickering district. Very young though. I really look forward to working with your administration and bringing this city alive. I'm very excited for all the things that are coming down the pipe. So we're here if you need us.
Thank you so much. That's so nice of you, and thrilled to have the chance to work with you. Congratulations on your new role as well.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else? Mayor Nicholson, thank you very much for joining us. I know you have a very full schedule and you're quite the busy guy. As I said, it seems like you're always there. Thank you again for joining us this morning. It's been great having you. I'll also be asking you to come to one of our Ward 2 meetings and speak to our residents as well. So Christine shaking her head, so she'll definitely be there for that. Once again, thank you all for joining us. Have a great day, and hopefully we're together in person next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.